She pretended to be poor, just to find true love. Welcome to Folktale Flame, where real-life stories are shared. A rich girl's secret plan. Amelia had everything but love. Amelia Stone was rich. Very rich. Her father, Mr. Stone, owned one of the biggest construction companies in the country. They lived in a mansion with 10 bedrooms, 3 swimming pools, and 5 cars. She had maids, drivers, chefs, and even a personal stylist. But something was missing. She had no real friends. And worse, no real love. The men who came around her only wanted one thing, her money. They brought flowers, took her out, said sweet things. But when Amelia's father tested them by pretending to lose everything, they always disappeared. She felt used, tired, alone. A crazy idea. One evening, Amelia sat by the pool, watching the sunset. Her best friend Clara, who worked as her personal assistant, joined her. "I'm tired of this fake love," Amelia said. "They all want my name, not my heart." Clara sipped her juice, then changed the game. "What do you mean?" Clara leaned in and whispered, "Pretend to be poor." Amelia's eyes lit up. "Dress normal. Get a small job. Live a simple life. No one will know who you are." Amelia laughed. "Clara, you're crazy." Clara smiled. "Maybe. But true love doesn't care about money." And just like that, the plan began. New identity, new life. Amelia dyed her hair dark brown. She got rid of her designer clothes and packed a small suitcase. She moved into a tiny apartment Clara rented for her under the name Amy Fields. She had no car, no driver, no staff, and for the first time in her life, she had to cook for herself, sweep her room, and wash her clothes. It was hard, but it felt real. Clara helped her get a job at a small local bakery owned by an old woman named Mrs. Jenkins. "You'll start as a server," Mrs. Jenkins said. "Are you ready to work?" "Yes, ma'am," Amelia said, smiling. "I'm ready." The bakery boy. On her second day, Amelia met Daniel. He worked in the bakery's kitchen as a baker. He wore old jeans, spoke softly, and had flour on his face most of the time. He didn't talk much to other staff, but he was always polite. He didn't even notice Amelia at first, not because he was rude, but because he was focused. One morning, Amelia helped him carry a heavy tray of bread. "Thanks," he said. "I'm Daniel." "Hi," she smiled. "I'm Amy." That was the start. Slow friendship. Over the next few weeks, Daniel and Amelia became friends. They walked home together sometimes. He taught her how to knead dough and how to close the cash register properly. One day, he brought her lunch. "You always bring mine," he said. "Today it's my turn." It was a simple sandwich, but Amelia had never tasted something so kind. They talked about dreams. "I want to open my own bakery one day," Daniel said. "I want to find love that's real," Amelia replied softly. Daniel smiled. "Both sound hard, but it's worth it." Amelia looked at him. Maybe, just maybe, he was different. A warning sign. One evening, Clara called Amelia. "You're falling, aren't you?" Amelia laughed nervously. "A little. Be careful. Don't lose control." Amelia sighed. "He doesn't know who I am. He thinks I live on 40,000 Nigerian nairas a month. He still shows up. He still smiles." "Just remember," Clara warned, "if he finds out the truth the wrong way, he might feel betrayed." Amelia nodded. Secrets build walls. But she wasn't ready to open the door yet. Jealous eyes. Not everyone at the bakery liked Amelia. Sophie, one of the senior workers, had a crush on Daniel. She saw how close he was getting to Amy. One day, she followed Amelia home. She saw Amelia walk into a taxi and drive toward a gated area. Though Amelia didn't go into her real house, Sophie became suspicious. "She's hiding something," Sophie said. And Sophie didn't like secrets. The accident. One rainy day, Amelia slipped outside the bakery and twisted her ankle. Daniel ran to her side. "Are you okay?" "I think I need a doctor," she said, wincing. Daniel didn't wait. He carried her to the roadside, flagged a cab, and paid the hospital bill from his savings. Amelia was touched. Later that night, she said, "You didn't have to do all that." "I wanted to," Daniel replied. "Because I care." Those 3 words made Amelia's heart beat faster. But she knew the real test was still coming. Love blossoms. Amelia and Daniel grew even closer. He brought her books. They shared food. He even sang her a song on her birthday using bakery spoons as drums. One night, under the stars, he said, "Amy, I think I'm falling for you." Her eyes filled with tears. "I feel the same," she whispered. But deep inside, fear gripped her heart. How could she tell him the truth? Would he still love her? Would he walk away like all the others? The secret is about to break. Sophie, the jealous worker, couldn't take it anymore. She began searching online using Amelia's photo. It didn't take long to find her real identity. Amelia Stone, daughter of billionaire Robert Stone. Sophie printed the article and waited for the perfect moment. She didn't want to protect Daniel. She wanted to destroy Amy. Watch this video to the end and don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. From Folktale Flame. The secret breaks. Trouble at the bakery. It was a quiet Monday morning. Amelia was wiping the glass counter when Sophie walked in with a wide smile. Daniel was behind the counter, humming softly. Mrs. Jenkins was in her office, checking receipts. "Good morning," Amelia said politely. Sophie smirked and replied, "Oh, it's a very good morning indeed." She pulled out her phone and tapped on a picture. Then she walked straight to Daniel and showed it to him. "Still think she's just a poor girl?" Daniel looked at the screen. There was a photo of Amelia at a gala. She wore a golden dress, standing next to her father, billionaire Robert Stone. His heart dropped. The storm hits. Amelia noticed Daniel's face change. He slowly walked to her. "Is your name really Amy?" Her hand froze on the glass. She looked into his eyes and saw pain, confusion, and betrayal. "No," she whispered. "My real name is Amelia Stone." The entire bakery went quiet. Sophie crossed her arms, satisfied. Daniel stepped back. "So, all this time you lied to me?" Amelia tried to explain. "I had to know if someone could love me for me. Not my name. Not my father's money." Daniel looked hurt. "You didn't trust me with the truth. I was scared. I didn't want to lose you. But you already did." Silence between them. For the next 3 days, Daniel didn't speak to Amelia. He worked quietly in the kitchen. She cleaned tables alone. Even Mrs. Jenkins noticed. "What's going on?" she asked. Amelia told her everything. The old woman sat quietly, then said, "You had good reasons, child. But trust is like glass. Once it breaks, it's hard to make it clear again." Amelia nodded. She wanted to quit, to run away. But Clara told her, "Don't give up yet. If his love was real, he'll understand in time." It felt like the end. Daniel's conflict. At home, Daniel sat on his bed, confused. He looked at old texts from Amelia. He remembered her laughter, her kindness, her silly jokes while kneading dough. He asked himself, was any of that fake? The answer was no. Everything they shared was real, except her name. He remembered the night she slipped in the rain and how she looked at him in pain. That look wasn't fake. That love wasn't fake. Still, he felt foolish. "Why would a billionaire's daughter choose me?" he whispered to himself. But deep down, he missed her. Clara's visit. Clara walked into the bakery on Saturday. She asked for Daniel. "Can we talk?" she said kindly. They sat outside on a bench. "She didn't mean to hurt you," Clara began. "Amelia just wanted someone to love her for her heart. You have no idea how many men tried to use her." Daniel looked down. "I'm not one of those men." "I know," Clara said. "That's why she chose you." Clara handed him a small notebook. "She wrote about you. Every day." Daniel opened the book. It was full of little notes. Daniel laughed today. "It made my whole week better. He gave me his lunch." "Who does that anymore?" I think I'm falling in love. Daniel's eyes watered. The apology. The next day, Daniel found Amelia on break, sitting behind the bakery. He sat beside her. Neither spoke for a moment. I'm sorry, Amelia said softly. I should have told you earlier. I'm sorry too, Daniel replied, for walking away. She looked at him. Do you believe me now? I do. Then he smiled. You're still the same girl who burns toast and sings off-key. She laughed. And you're still the boy who wears the same flour-stained apron every day. They both laughed this time. And just like that, the wall between them cracked. Love rekindled. Daniel and Amelia started spending time together again. But things are different now. Better. No more secrets. No more lies. They laughed deeper. We talked longer. I walked slower. One day, they sat in the park. Amelia leaned her head on his shoulder. I don't care if you're a billionaire or a baker, Daniel said. I just want your heart. You already have it, Amelia whispered. And for the first time in her life, Amelia felt free. She didn't have to pretend. She didn't have to hide. This love was real. Sophie's fall. Back at the bakery, things weren't going well for Sophie. Mrs. Jenkins called her into the office. I heard what you did. Following someone home. Digging into their life. Embarrassing a worker in public. Sophie tried to defend herself. I was only protecting Daniel. You were jealous, Mrs. Jenkins replied. And I don't allow bitterness in my bakery. Sophie was fired that same day. As she walked out, she saw Daniel and Amelia smiling together. She had lost the game. A special invitation. A week later, Mr. Stone, Amelia's father, came to visit the bakery. He wore a plain shirt and shook Daniel's hand. I've heard a lot about you. Daniel was nervous. Sir, I know I'm not from money. Mr. Stone smiled. That's why I like you. He pulled out an invitation card. I'm hosting a private dinner next week. I want you to come, as Amelia's guest, and maybe more. Daniel nodded, still shocked. What's next? That evening, Daniel walked Amelia home. The streetlights glowed softly. Are you ready for your old life again? Daniel asked. She smiled. No. I want to build a new one, with you. He held her hand. You know, your lie brought us together, Daniel said. But your truth kept me here. Amelia rested her head on his chest. Maybe love wasn't about perfect timing, or perfect honesty from day one. Maybe it was about choosing each other every day, even after the truth is revealed. And now, they were ready to start again. Watch this video to the end and don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. From Folktale Flame. The Test of Real Love. Dinner with the Billionaire. The big day arrived. Daniel wore his best shirt, the only one without flour stains. He took a deep breath and stepped into the Stone family mansion. It was massive. Chandeliers. Marble floors. Everything sparkled. A maid led him to the dining room, where Amelia sat beside her father. Mr. Stone stood and smiled. Daniel. Welcome. Dinner was fancy. 4 courses, 3 forks, and too many glasses. Daniel felt out of place. Until Amelia squeezed his hand under the table. He looked at her and remembered why he was there. Not for the gold, but for the girl. The father's test. After dinner, Mr. Stone asked Daniel to join him in the garden. They walked in silence. Then Mr. Stone said, I tested many men. All of them failed. They loved my daughter's money, not her heart. Daniel nodded. I don't want her money. I want her to be happy, even if it's not with me. Mr. Stone looked at him closely. You would walk away if it made her happier? Daniel swallowed hard. Yes. There was a pause. Then Mr. Stone smiled and placed a hand on Daniel's shoulder. Then you're the one I've been waiting for. Love in the light. Now that everything was out in the open, Daniel and Amelia's relationship grew stronger. They visited the bakery often, not as workers, but as volunteers. They still laughed over burnt toast. Still sang off-key. But now, there was no fear. No lies. Just love. Mrs. Jenkins gave them her blessing and joked, "If you two open a bakery together, don't forget who trained you." Not everyone was happy. Some people didn't like the idea. Rich friends whispered, "She could do better." Some of Daniel's old friends asked, "Why would a billionaire want you?" But Amelia didn't care. "When I was rich and alone, no one asked if I was happy," she said. "Now I'm happy, and that's enough." Daniel smiled. "Let them talk. We know the truth." They held hands, stronger than ever. A proposal with a twist. One sunny afternoon, Daniel brought Amelia back to the bakery where they met. It was empty, or so she thought. As they walked in, lights flicked on. There were candles, flowers, and soft music playing. Mrs. Jenkins stood by the oven, smiling. Clara waved from the back. Daniel dropped to one knee, holding out a small, simple ring. "Amelia Stone, you saw me when I had nothing. You loved me before I believed in myself. Will you be my forever?" Tears filled Amelia's eyes. "Yes. 1,000 times yes." A new chapter begins. Months later, Daniel and Amelia opened a small bakery together called True Crumbs, where real love rises. They hired honest workers, paid them well, and taught them that titles mean nothing. They became an example of what love could do when it's built on truth, not status. Even Mr. Stone invested in the bakery, but only as a silent partner. "Let them fly on their own," he said proudly. Full circle. One day, a young woman came into the bakery looking tired and sad. She told Amelia, "Men only want me for what I have." Amelia handed her a coffee and smiled. "Maybe it's time you live like you have nothing. Sometimes you find everything that way." Moral lessons. Real love doesn't care about your last name, only your heart. Sometimes, you have to lose comfort to find the truth. The right person will love your soul, not your status. Hiding your identity for a good reason isn't wrong, but honesty always wins in the end. If this story made your heart smile, don't forget to like this video. Comment below. Would you ever pretend to be poor just to find true love? Share this story with someone who believes love still exists. Subscribe to our channel for more life-changing love stories every week. And remember, sometimes, the richest people are the ones with nothing but love.